Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. I've been missing in action again for a little while, but I've been so busy and tired without mercy. But I decided I had to do something this evening. So here I am. I haven't sat in this little space to do a video for a while, but I'm doing it from here this evening. You all must have heard at some point in your life, things are not always what they seem, and that is a truism. So I was thinking about, a number of things, and it occurred to me that I could talk about them a little bit. As I was saying that you all must have heard the term things are not always what they seem. And I was saying that that's a truism because sometimes we happen upon some circumstances or we see some things happening around us and we come to our own conclusions and we either judge somebody or berate somebody or just say something unkind, thinking that what we're seeing is really what the situation is. But a lot of times it's not what it seems at all. Take, for instance, when I came to Mandeville as a youngster, I came to school. And one day I was out in Mandeville. I kind of, I mean, that's been many moons ago. I was out there for some reason. And while I stood waiting, I saw these two beautiful white girls. And it just seemed odd that they were out there because I never saw anybody else that seemed as though they might have been related to or whatever. And I didn't know Mandeville to be a tourist town. So I just wondered. But I stood there minding my own business and suddenly one of them spoke and I went into shock. Because one of them said something like, I wish part we are going to take a taxi. I wish part we are going to take a taxi. And then the other one responded by saying, after me no know, after me no. I was shocked out of my wits. I almost fell. I was standing, almost fell. I kid you not. I was shocked because, I mean, they're beautiful. They're Caucasians. They looked like Caucasians. I mean, there isn't anything to suggest that they're not. They had very long silky hair and they had the white complexion and they were pretty. But so I couldn't wait to get back to school to tell everybody about my experience. Well, when I got back on campus and I was telling my bestie about it, she laughed at me and she said, "Oh, you don't know them. I St. Elizabeth them come from one place named Germantown. All of these white people." And I'm saying, "What? Never heard of the place before, never heard of these people, living in an area such as that." And I was just thinking, and I'm saying, Great Scott. I was really very shocked when I heard them talk. I just couldn't believe it. And I said to myself, yes, really. Things are not always what they seem, you know? And sometimes as we go through life, we come upon things that we think ought to be a certain way or that is how it is, but it actually isn't so. Like, for instance, I was watching something with this young lady. It's a true story. And she was extremely fat. And no matter what she did, she just couldn't lose weight. But everybody always talked about her in a negative way, and they thought that she was just eating herself fat and all of that. But she had gone to join a gymnastic school. She wanted to do gym she wanted to become a gymnast, and so she went, and the teacher was quite accommodating, and there was a very difficult dance that they had to do, and the girl who was everything or thought she was everything, she laughed at his corner and told her she's to get out of there because what is she doing there and she's so fat and she can't do anything. And the girl felt so badly and she left. But her aunt always encouraged her you know, to do whatever it is that she needed to do. So she went back. The long and short of the story is that she won the competition, and the girl that thought that she was all that had to settle for second place. And the girl actually got the award. There was a guy that is a famous photographer that she wanted to meet, and the other girl met him and stuff like that. But it was that she had a disease. She inherited it from her mother, and so it made her put on a lot of weight. So that is what her problem was, why she was so big. It wasn't that she was greedy and eating any and anything all the time. It was really a disease. So sometimes you see people, they have uh some malady of some kind. It's not necessarily of their doing. Like I remembered the other day, my friend said her daughter had posted something on Facebook, and somebody commented in a negative way, and she was really upset because the child was born with a particular disease. It wasn't like she was not eating well or she wasn't eating right and eating anything. You know, some people jump to conclusions without even knowing what is going on. But the one that really took the cake for me was when this man went to a particular church, and the preacher was there preaching his nice ordinary sermon, and everybody was enjoying it and listening, and then suddenly a well-dressed man walked into the church, and suddenly the tone of his sermon changed, and he started to use some highfalutin words and carrying on in the pulpit. And he apparently couldn't wait to get to meet this official, wealthy looking man who had come into his congregation. So it seemed that after he was doing that, he cut short his sermon, and the service ended, and he got to the door, and he was just waiting for this man to come so that he could engage him and all of that. And when the man got to the door, and he said, "Oh, hello," and you know, he was very effusive and stuff like that, the man just said to him, "Me a no Christian, you know, sir. And if me a Christian, I no really the church I may come. But me a pastor, and me hear the preaching, and me just decide to stop." Well, his mouth fell to the floor. I don't know if he has brought it back up yet. But that taught him a valuable lesson. That things are not always what they seem, because the man was elegantly dressed. He just assumed that this must be a very educated, erudite person that had come into his congregation, and he was so glad and he wanted to, you know, impress him. Not remembering that the man is not the only one that is in the congregation. He had his regular congregants, you know, so he's trying to impress him. So I've said all of that to say that sometimes we have to wait until we find out exactly what is happening before we actually draw a conclusion or make a judgment, because sometimes we can be so wrong, and people suffer for it because we judge them and we berate them, you know, and we say unkind things to them and about them, which really isn't true and which doesn't really merit our behavior. But because we think that what we see is what it really is, then we do that. So let's just try and sometimes find out what is going on when we see certain things before we actually jump to a conclusion. And then sometimes that can keep us out of trouble, because you know, you might say something, and because that is not what it is, it gets you into trouble. Just thought I'd share that with you. So I hope that I will have enough energy to go through this week to put out my videos again, because I've missed you guys. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch up again. Have a good one, as usual, and thank you. Bye.